Hi there. Well, I haven't talked to you in a while. Guess where I am? Not in Kentucky. No. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I'm in St. Vital Park. And this is the first video I've done, Quiet Moments, since my last one, which was in Kentucky. I don't know if you've seen my other videos or not, but there was a lot to do about, well, I'm still in Manitoba and I really want to get to Kentucky. Remember that? Well, that was last September, October. And then I, of course, went in November and I was there. Arrived November 4th and I left the end of February. I was actually amazed at, when I think back about those 4 short months, really. Everything that happened is like, unbelievable. I can't even imagine what I actually did. I gotta laugh, I gotta give my head a shake. But you know, part of the journey. Speaking of the journey, today I really had a desire, like a burning desire to video another chapter from the book I wrote called Trust the Journey, which I started March 4th and I finished at the end of August. It is 614 pages, I think, 124 chapters. Hey, I'm editing, okay? But anyway, I'm not going to publish it until, I think, 2025 is what I was thinking. Certainly not this year, for sure, not next year. Maybe 24, I don't know. But in any case, not yet, because I got another book I'm doing that I want to put out and do that first. Another project. It's going to be kind of cool, actually. But anyway, so that's the Trust the Journey book, and I wanted to video, because I'm videoing selected chapters of that. Obviously not the whole book. There's a lot of chapters, a lot of life. It's my life story. But so I wanted to video some of that today. But instead, I had this really strong intuition. No, do a Quiet Moments video. I haven't done one of those since, I think the last one I did was the end of December or maybe the 1st of January, but it was, quite a little while ago. And I was in Kentucky in the house there, which I no longer have. I sold it. Talking about the things that happened in that short period. My gosh, when I think about it. I mean, in the run of 2 years, I think, I bought a house in Winnipeg. I moved in. I did the piano series. All kinds of stuff happened there. Decided that that was the end of that chapter. Sold the house, bought a house in Kentucky. Finally got there November 4th with a lot to do. Had all my stuff shipped there. Got ill, almost died, lost half my hair. Lost a whole lot of weight. Luckily, I put some more back on. I put on about 15 pounds, luckily. And I, had back injury, all kinds of stuff. But, all part of the journey, all part of the whole thing. And for that I say, read my book. But you won't be able to read it for a couple of years. But you can watch some videos if you want to. But anyway, today I thought, just to get out here in the fall, because it's a beautiful day here in Winnipeg. It's October 21st, and it's amazing. Ontario has snow, and we have this unbelievable fall that's lasting, and it's warm. And Dean and I were, sitting this morning having coffee, looking out at our lake, because we have a beautiful, beautiful place on the lake. And life is life just, every day I say, I don't know if life can get any better, and every day it does. There's a lesson there, okay? Probably what I wanted to just kind of talk about today is reality. Reality. Um, do you know, there's so many people always are looking toward tomorrow for their reality. I was guilty of that, so like I kind of know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people are like, well, it's gonna be good. I pray that this will happen. I pray that that will happen. Oh, I really want this to happen. Oh, I hope that happens. You get the point I'm making here. And the thing is, that's not how it happens. It doesn't happen by keeping to continually put it in the future. And when we go like, well, I really want, okay, an example, my back, okay? I've had a back issue since I was about 13. I had a bad accident when I was a kid. And my back for about over a year now, has been a daily thing where there have been points where like I literally couldn't sleep, couldn't walk. Put it this way, it was a rough time for about the past year every day. But what I learned from that is you have to be in now. You can't be in a second away from now, because it takes your focus and your attention and your awareness into the mind. And as soon as it gets there into the mind, well, you're distracted. When you're distracted, you lose a bit of consciousness. That's how it works. In order for me to get to the point where I could actually heal my back, which, as I say, has been quite the thing, but doing pretty good right now, I tell you. But in order for that to happen, you have to have your life consciousness. And your life consciousness is awareness in now. It's not thinking about tomorrow, hoping that God's going to come and do this for you or do that for you, give this to you or give that to you. Please make this happen, God. Like, what an irresponsible thing, eh? Hope I didn't offend anybody there. Not intending to, seriously. And I realize I'm kind of going all over the place here, and bear with me, okay? If you've looked at some of my earlier Quiet Moments videos, I admit to, confess to digressing. I will try to keep the digression onto like one thing only at a time, okay? But there's just so much now, so much now to experience that it's, in a way, it's, well, it's reality, which is what I'm going to talk about. And reality is what we are creating, okay? If we create, oh, you know, I don't like my body. Well, you know what? Guess what? Your body doesn't really want to hear that. And then what's going to happen is your body's going to respond to that, okay? That's just an example. But I think with, like, reality is like, what do we choose to have? What are the choices? Choice I'm making right now is to be here, now. And here is beautiful. When I first sat down, as you can see, I brought my coat, I got a sweater on, I got another thing on, because I like warm. I like being warm, and I tend to be cold a lot. But I'm sitting here, and I'm experiencing, I don't have to be cold, that's choice. Because in actual fact, it's not that cold out, it's beautiful. I've got on a wool sweater and a hoodie, and I can release and just enjoy what the temperature is, and that's now, that's reality. If I go, oh man, I'm really cold, oh, it's really getting cold, well, guess what? You'll be really cold and it's really going to get cold. I guess that's a pathway into how we're navigating these times that we're in. And there's a lot of fear. a lot of fear. I mean, I still see people wearing masks, and I used to kind of shake my head and go, oh my, seriously, like, really? But I don't do that anymore, because I realized everybody has their own set of circumstances and issues they have to navigate through and come to terms with in their own time and in their own way. And if we jump in and put judgments on people and, how do you know what that person's circumstances are? They may be terrified. If they're terrified, what are you going to do? Scare them more and make them feel like really bad about being terrified? No. Oh, I hear people coming. There are people walking. They're going to walk through this. They're going to walk through this very soon, more than likely. They got a cute little dog with them too. Anyway, I'll let them say it's fine. You can come through. It's okay with me. But anyway, like, reality is that people are actually pretty cool. Just got to let them be. Just let them be whatever they want to be. As long as they're not hurting anybody, hurting themselves. Hi there. Hi. You can come through here. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just as well. You don't want to have to have people on your video footage. Probably not a good idea. But anyway, fear is what really keeps us held back. And fear is what stops us from consciousness. And fear is what stops us from really getting to know ourselves and our truth. What's our truth? Right now, my truth is that my nose is running. I think I better actually stop this for a second, blow my nose. Okay, back again. This beautiful, beautiful day. I think, as I say, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm a little rusty. A little rusty. There's a little thing I was thinking about recently, which was, how do people lose their power? And I think that where people actually lose their power is where they have a choice on something and they think, I know, okay, well, what's the right thing? What's the right thing to do? Well, the right thing would be whatever. Yeah, but if I actually be my truth, be me, the consequences might be, well, what would happen? Who would like me? Maybe somebody wouldn't like me. Maybe somebody would disagree or whatever. But whenever a person steps away from knowing the right thing, no matter what, and decide not to, because of any reason, and then justify the reason, no, because then no, I better not, because like that, right at that moment is where you lose power. You lose your power. Because when you do that a little bit, and then you do a little bit again, and a little bit again, every little bit takes away a little bit of you. And what are we doing now? What we're actually doing is we are awakening. This is the time when we're awakening. Everything is happening so fast on this planet. Have you noticed the time has sped up? Have you noticed that? You get up in the morning or whatever, and before you know it, it's the afternoon. Before you know it, it's the evening. And then before you know it, it's Friday. Have you noticed that? Time sped up light is changed. The moon. I saw the moon. I kid you not. I kid you not. In the night, at a certain time in the night, the moon is in a certain place in the sky. It goes from east to the west, right? And as the hours go by in the night, the moon moves. The moon does its thing. Well, one night, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I guess it was, I looked out the sky and it was, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning or something. The moon was supposed to be over there. And I looked, the moon was still here, and I went, what are you doing still here? You're supposed to be over there. It's like, what? Not only that, it was close. And I'm going, okay, all right. Who's screwing with the moon, okay? I don't know. Sometimes I absolutely love to entertain possibilities for reality. Have you ever done that? Have you ever entertained possibilities for reality? Like, who says things are the way they say things are? Like, who are they? Who are these they? My neighbor said to me the other day, she said, I had to put my Christmas decorations and my trees up early because of circumstances in their family. And she says, but I won't turn them on because people will think I'm kind of crazy. And I went, who? What people? Why does that even matter? Who cares? Who cares? Who are these they? Anyway, well, they say, who are these they? What people? How do they know better than you about you? You know, you just be. You be. You be. I happen to like, I like all kinds of weird stuff. One thing I love, recently, a couple of months ago, I started doing it. It was just serendipity that I started even doing it, was painting. I started painting abstract paintings, and I tell you, the joy in that is unbelievable. I know a lot about color because I've been a professional actually in the colors fashion industry years ago, and I've done a lot of photography, and I used like a lot of my colors skills in photography and all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm an artist, right? So that's what you got. But anyway, so I know how to work with color, and I know which colors work together. And today, for example, we have this beautiful autumn. Well, what colors go with the autumn, right? Yellow, red, and I'm thinking, what colors should I wear today to do some shooting? Well, it's autumn. You wear some colors that are going to work with the environment. Anyway, color. So I started doing acrylic paintings, abstracts, and I tell you, I'm doing one every couple of days. It's just I'm just going to heaven. I go into heaven doing this. And you know what? There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just, what do you feel? Same as when I play the piano, right? There's no right, there's no wrong. What do I feel, you know? And the feeling that comes through, what's that feeling? How do I feel? What's that energy that surging through me, and it comes out my hands, and I'm going to be soundtracking this video to some of my piano music. Airplanes. Wait till that gets by. But frequencies, colors, sound, the world, everything, people, it's all energy frequencies. Colors are frequencies. You guys can go through. Go ahead. No, please, don't inconvenience yourselves. People, they're really great. People are so incredibly great. Wow. Wow. Do you notice the consciousness is changing? Have you noticed that? Yeah, good. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you got a beautiful dog. Have a great walk. So great. People are so lovely. Notice how nice they are. Do you notice how nice people are? Wow. Had an experience in Kentucky. My, ex-best friend was there with me. And we went down, we were in Louisville, and we went downtown to, down to the place where you buy stuff, stores and stuff, away from my house. And we were parked in I don't know, it was like a Big Lots, I think it's called. It's a place kind of like I guess kind of like Winners here, but it's really great. Like you can buy all kinds of cool stuff there for really cheap. I got great towels. But anyway, I had stopped the car and somebody was, there's a guy walking kind of across in front of the car. He was just crossing to his car in the parking lot. And she went, oh, she went, that guy, he's like really got an attitude. Look at him. And I looked at the guy and I saw this friendly guy. I said, no, he doesn't have an attitude. He's a nice guy. He's just walking across in front of us. She goes, I don't know, I don't trust him. Look. Anyway, I smiled at him. He smiled, gave a little wave. I went, see, he's a nice guy. Nothing wrong with him. How do you look at people? What do you see? I just get beauty all the time. Like, I can't even remember the last time I got something bad from somebody. I mean, if I try, I probably can. Yeah, actually, I can. Quite a while ago now. But I just don't get that, I just don't get it anymore. I get it from bugs, however. A bug just went near my face. Anyway, only some bugs, though, not all bugs. But, people are really, truly beautiful. I mean, I have noticed in this past couple of years, since 2020, to, put a frame on it, with everything we've been through, people have gone through so much. Some are still going through so much, many. And it's a time when I think it's brought everybody really, generally speaking, much closer together. I mean, I'll be driving on anywhere. I'll just be driving, and I'll get people in the next car just smiling. I was walking into a store yesterday, and this guy was walking along, and I gave him a smile, and he said, "Hi." I'm driving on a highway. I'm on my way from Louisville. When I first left Kentucky, or when I first left Louisville, on my way back. And I'm driving on one of the freeways, which I wasn't used to driving on them. I was sick all the time I was there. I didn't drive at all. And suddenly I kind of got out on the freeway after a month of not being able to even barely walk, let alone drive. And anyway, I'm driving on the freeway, and some guy passes in some sort of a truck or something. And as he's going by, he goes like this to me. And I go, oh, wow. That's cool. That's really cool. I must be driving okay. Let me tell you a little bit about that. Just on the way, after I sold my house there and I packed it up, and the big old truck came and gathered up all my stuff. I'd given away an awful lot of my stuff, like my furniture and stuff. Actually, I donated a whole lot of it to a church. It was a small Roman Catholic church, actually. And not that I'm not a church person. My church is right here, and I'm not into organized anything, any system. Keep them away from me. Not a fan of systems, any of them. We create our own systems. But anyway, so I donated a lot of my furniture to this community, this church. It was a little poor church. It was in Indiana. And they were just thrilled to get the stuff. If anybody's ever been in our houses, Dean's or my house, which was on Sonning, I had these big old designer, actually, leather chairs. They looked like square cubes. They'd been designed a number of years ago by a designer for the company that Dean was partnering. And those things cost like 20 grand each or something. They were like really expensive, and they're not in the world anywhere else. That's original. Anyway, I gave them to this church, and they were so thrilled. And she told me later, the lady, she said, those chairs are so wonderful, she says, because we have them at the front. And she says the people who are not able to sit in the pews because they're too hard, the older people, they sit in those chairs and they just love them. And the pedestals, I had these pedestals that went with them. I've had many cups of coffees on those pedestals sitting in those chairs. And the pedestals were on either side of the door when people come in. They're in that church in Indiana now. Gave away all kinds of musical equipment. I gave away stacks of clothes. They came like 2 different times, got 2 big truckloads of all kinds of stuff. And they couldn't believe that I was like thrilled to give them that stuff. Thrilled. That's how I lost that's how I lost my best friend, actually, because she wanted all my stuff, and I said, nah, I already gave you $22,000, and I shipped all your stuff down there. I did all this stuff already. And, she didn't pay me back. Supposed to, but didn't do it. But anyway, you gotta let that stuff go. You can't hang on to it. But anyway, I lost her as a best friend. Best friend. Because she was quite upset that I hadn't given her the stuff. And I went, I gave you enough, I gave you enough. But in any case, another story. It's in my book, which will come out in a couple of years. Maybe on a video before then, I don't know. But anyway, but I, believe it or not, I don't hold anything against her. I feel kind of, I feel very empathetic for the path. The paths that people choose are their paths, and they have to experience the effects they cause on others. That's just the way it is. One of the laws of the universe is when you put out, whoops, hope that didn't do something. When you put out a cause, when you cause something, what you cause comes back and causes on you. That's one of the laws of the universe. That's one of the laws of how things work. It's not the law of a government or a system. It's the law of God's universe. That's how it works. There's no getting away from that. And I figure that one of my neighbors said, I guess it's a calling. He says, you're responding to a calling. And I went, yeah, I heard the call, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm in. I'll do it. And I've been doing it ever since. But my thing is, I do things, and people have done things, to me. But ultimately, nothing has hurt me. If anything, I've only thrived and blossomed and awakened. And as a result of that, the compassion that I have for humanity is just, I can't even, there's no measurement, what we've been through, what the strength of humanity, the beauty of humanity, the magic of the human being. Do you know that humans can manifest and create? The dark forces cannot. Darkness cannot create. The way they get their creations to manifest, look at your systems, look at the governments, look at what they're doing, look at what they're doing, trying to do, right? The only way they can make what they want to happen is to get the humans to create it. And how do they do that? They program them to do it. That's how they do it. Be aware of your programming, okay? It's all over the place. Just take a moment to really, really discern what you're being told. Does it make sense to you? Don't just buy something because anybody else says it, including me, you know? Sometimes people say to me, well, what do you think? Or I don't go by what I think, go by what you think. What I think's not important, you think's important. Go by your own heart. You know, that's how you discern. Use your own meter. Is it right? Is it not? What do you think? What do you think, huh? But that's how the humanity has been imprisoned. It's how we've been put in the darkness that we've been in for so long, where we ended up in a place of service to self rather than to others. We end up in, you know, what do they call it? Dog eat dog world? Dogs don't eat their dogs. Come on. Same cannot be said for people, I'll tell you. In more ways than one, but we won't go there right now. But anyway, humans can manifest anything. And how do you do that? You just see it. What do I see when I look at the guy crossing in front of the car? I see a beautiful, friendly, big guy in Louisville, Kentucky, on his way from a store to the parking lot to get in his car, who gives us a smile. What does my friend sitting in the car see? She sees somebody who's threatening, doesn't like us for some reason, wants to give us a hard time. What do you want to create? What do you want to create? You can create whatever you want. It's your choice. Choose well. Choose well. How do you choose? How does your choice make you feel? Do you have to justify it? Does your choice make you feel like you got to go, well, I'll do that because, rather than I'll do that because it's the right thing? You know, what's your choice? That's how you create reality. What's the reality that you want? What do you want? I mean, look on Facebook, look at all the crap that's there, like, oh, they're going to do this now, oh, now they're going to do that. They're not going to do any of that crap. Not if you say no. You know, sorry, buddy, I don't consent. I did that actually quite a bit. I got to tell you, when I came back across the border, I drove for 4 days from Louisville to Winnipeg, to my front door in Winnipeg, in the end of February, and I was all strapped up. My back was strapped up. I had a pillow strapped into a belt holding my body together. I slept, when I got to hotels, I stayed in 3 motels on the way across in the dead of winter, you know, with my beautiful little car, Moonbeam. Got a new car there. But anyway, hey. Yeah, like how I made it across in the shape I did, and how I did is like that is a miracle, only because I rolled up my sleeves and I got into my car, Moonbeam. She's beautiful. She's a little white Ford Escape. Got into Moonbeam and I said, okay, baby, you ready to go? Well, I know, it's new for me too. I haven't driven in a month. On freeways in the U.S. from here to Winnipeg in the dead of winter. I just got so that I could walk recently. Holy crap, how the hell did I ever do that? Anyway, but, you know, I'll tell you a little funny story, and then I think I'll go home and have a cup of coffee. But I got to the hotel the first night, or the motel rather, and I got lost. I was still in Kentucky, and I hadn't crossed over into Indiana yet. I don't think I had anyway. Maybe I had, but anyway. There was a bad storm came on, and it was freezing rain. It was like snow that was turning to rain, and it was freezing, hitting my windshield. And my windshield wipers weren't up to the task. And this was freezing on the windshield. I was trying to follow my GPS instructions to get to this, motel that Dean had booked, thankfully, ahead for me that night. Got lost, ended up in an industrial place, and I was like 2 hours late getting to the motel. But anyway, I get to the room, and it was a really crappy motel. It's the only one we could get, really. And the toilet was really bad. Like, when you would go to, wipe, the water was so high, they go, oh God, ugh. But anyway, that's not the story, believe it or not. The story is, when I went to lay on the bed, I thought, oh my God, if I sleep on this bed, I'll be crippled in the morning. I cannot sleep in a bed that does that. Can't do it. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, man, I can't sleep on the floor because God only knows what's been down there. Ooh, doesn't look too healthy to me. So I looked around and I thought, what am I gonna do here? Oh, there's an idea. I looked over to the corner. What do you think I saw? I saw an ironing board. I pulled that ironing board over and I put it on the bed, dug into my suitcases, and I found all kinds of hoodies and I padded that thing. And then I called to the desk and I said, I'm really cold in here, you got more blankets? And I said, I'm gonna need a lot. So they brought me some blankets and I padded the thing up some more and I slept on an ironing board. I put the ironing board on the bed. Well, I did that all across the U.S. And I slept in, I think it was Wisconsin the final night. Drove from there to home on the final day. I got in on a Sunday night, quite late, because they kept me at the border for 2 hours. I gotta tell you this. This is so funny. Really funny, actually. Lots of people were getting all these fines, like thousands of dollars worth of fines, because they weren't, jabbed and they didn't have papers and all this stuff. Well, I have not been jabbed and I didn't have any papers and I did not get one fine, not one fine. But anyway, what happened was I pull up to, and I had Kentucky plates on my car. Anyway, I pull up to the little place coming into Canada, the guard sitting there. It's the same guard that was there actually when I came around in July 1st when I couldn't get in. I had to circle back. That same guy. I doubt that he remembered me, but who knows. Anyway, he said to me, do you have your import papers for your car? I went, what? He said, import. I need your import papers for your car. I went, what do you mean my import papers for the car? And he says, well, you have Kentucky plates on your car and you're a Canadian citizen, you're coming to Canada. And I went, I bought the car in Kentucky. And he said, I know, you have to import it to Canada. I said, what does that mean? He says, well, you got to pay taxes on it here in Canada. I said, why? I pay taxes in Kentucky. He goes, no, you have to import the car and you got to pay the taxes for what the car would be valued here in Canada. I said, I don't have any papers. I didn't know any. What? That doesn't even make any sense. That's extortion. That's mafia. That's how the mafia operates. He says, you're going to have to go inside and handle it with them. He wasn't going to deal with me. Anyway, he says, and and you have your CAN app, your Arrive app, right? I said, what? He goes, your Arrive, whatever he called it. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Arrive CAN app or something? He goes, yeah, you need that so we can track you. I said, track me? I don't want you to track me. Why would you want to track me? He says, well, we need to track you because you have to go into quarantine. I said, quarantine? I'm not sick. He says, okay, you don't have the Arrive CAN app. You don't have import papers. He says, how long have you been gone? And I said, I flew in on November 4th. I said, I had to buy the car there because I had to fly there because you wouldn't let me bring my car in. So I had to sell my car. I had to have my car sold and I had to buy another one there because you wouldn't let me come. And he goes, okay, go inside. Anyway, I got inside. It was 9 o'clock at that time on a Sunday night. It was bloody cold out, like it was minus 30 or something. And anyway, so I kind of went through the same story with them, and well, you're going to have you import the car, and I went through the same kind of thing. Well, what Trudeau needs the money? I had quite a little discussion with them inside, which is why I was there for 2 hours. After driving 6 hours, incidentally, that day, with a bad back, having slept on an ironing board. Like I say, how the hell did I ever pull this off? Anyway, 4 nights of that too. Anyway, So what happened was they said, well, you're going to have to pay the GST. You can pay the PST later, but you got to do the GST. I said, how much is that? And they valued the car. You're going to have to pay over $2,000. $2,000? I already paid taxes in Kentucky. And I went through the whole story with them. And the man, he was kind of mean. The girl, she was kind of like, they said, you have to wear a mask. I said, I'm not wearing a mask. They said, you have to wear a mask in here. I said, there's nobody here. You guys, and you're over there and I'm here. What? And the woman said, well, just put it on under your chin. And I went, okay, I'll put it on. And then the man says, you have to pull your mask up. I said, I'm not pulling my mask up. He says, pull it up. I said, I can't breathe if it's up. I can't breathe. And then they gave up on me and they let me have my mask where I wanted it, which was here. I hate those things. Anyway, so I didn't have to wear the mask in there. And so then he said, well, you got to pay the $2,000. And I said, well, that's extortion. It's extortion. It's illegal. It's extortion. And he says, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave? We can keep the car in North Dakota if you want. I said, then what am I supposed to do, hitchhike home? They said, well, you can do whatever you want, but we'll keep the car if you don't pay. And I went, oh, shit. Okay, so I'm up against the wall here. So I paid the $2,000. Anyway, but that's kind of like one of my border stories. Incidentally, though, no fines for CanAp or whatever it was. No fines for no importing the car. No fines for no jabs. No fines for no PCR tests. No fines for anything. But then they said, well, you got to sit in your car, and we'll call Health Canada, and they're going to call you in the car, and they're going to have to deal with you on all of this stuff. I said, okay, fine. So I sat in the car, half an hour, and I had the conversation with the woman from Health Canada. She calls me on the phone call in the car after, 10 minutes, whatever. And she says, well, I need your, your address, and I need your information, and da-da-da. And I said, hang on, I said, I need yours. I said, no, I need your information. I need your name. Could you please spell it? And she goes, why do you need my name? I said, well, me or someone else may have to reach you and contact you. We may have to do that. And she goes, well, my name is some name I couldn't. I said, I need you to spell that, please. So she spells her first name. I said, and your last name, can you spell that, please? Okay, I need your contact information. And she, so I kind of flipped the thing. She stopped asking me for mine because I started asking her for hers. And and she says, I'm going to have to ask my supervisor what we're going to do with you. And I said, okay. She says, I'll get back to you. And I said, okay. So I sat in the car, and, I think I messaged Dean, or I talked to Dean on the phone or something. Anyway, and eventually, she never did call back, and the people from inside came out, because they'd kept my passport. They came out, they handed me my passport, and they said, you're free to go. I said, I can go? They said, yeah, go. I said, okay. Off I went. I got home. That's my story coming across the border, coming back into Canada after being in Kentucky, after driving across, I drove across North Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, North Dakota, into Manitoba. And I had the most beautiful trip. Absolutely. I was so happy, absolutely happy to leave that house in Kentucky. When I was there, I cleaned it, and by that I mean I cleaned it energetically, because it had bad energy in it. And I went through what I had to go through there, and it was, if I thought I'd gone through hell before I went there, nothing like what I went through there, nothing. Almost died. It's on my video. If you go to my Quiet Moments, Merry Christmas 21 one, it's all there, story, a lot of it. And the next one following as well. But yeah, I went through hell. And it was a hell. They call it, I think, the dark night of the soul on the way to the awakening. But it was like I had to go through that. I had to go through that. Got back home, and it took me a while to get my health back, because when Dean saw me, I think he got scared. I was about, well, picture it. You can't really because I got clothes on, but I've gained probably about 15 to 20 pounds since I got back because I was like really, really thin. I'd lost half my hair. My hair's gotten back now. It's all thick up here again now, but I wasn't able to color it or anything like that. So, hence, the new look. It's in fashion now. Aren't I lucky? But you know what? I kind of like it, actually. I really kind of like it. I'm never going to color my hair again. I really like this. And it's come back. I had to cut. I had to cut off between January and now over 6 inches. It was quite long, and but I had to cut. I had to keep cutting it because it was in such bad shape. But it's coming back. My body is back. I can walk today, and this is the first day I can video in a long time, out here like this. So you know what? And life has just been beautiful. Dean and I are having such a marvelous time. We are having such a glorious time because he did so much changing. I did so much changing. We both got rid of all the crap we had to get rid of, and there was a lot of it on both our sides. What we got rid of, but we had to do it on our own, in our own ways, which is what we did. And like now, we just we're in like a really interesting love affair. And it's so fun. It's so fun. Like in the morning, I just can't wait to spend time with him, and we just have so much fun together. We're having such a great time. And life it could not be better. And I just wanted to share all of this with you today because I haven't talked to you in a while, And I just couldn't be happier and more blessed, more grateful. I am so blessed. Thank you. I wake up in the morning and go, thank you. Thank you. It's a beautiful thing to be awake in an incredible golden age frequency where you can look at another human being and see the beauty. I've always been able to see that, but just to be able to really see how that consciousness is just evolving and exploding. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? Thank you so much. I have no idea how long this is. Maybe I'll edit some of it, cut some stuff out, because I was kind of like all over the place there at the beginning. Rusty. I was rusty. Anyway, life is beyond beautiful, and I really want everybody to just be in the beauty, and it's already here. It already is, and you're already in it because you already are, and that's your key. You already are. You just gotta be. Just be you. Just be you. Just be you. You're the best that you can be because you're you. And oh man, do I love you. Do I love you? Oh, yes, I do. I just absolutely do. Just love you. Thank you. Thank you. Having said that, bye. I'll talk to you again.